the African story, for example, the dream story, that was quite remarkable. For me, that was a highlight of the book, I would say, where you related the dream you had, a recurring dream, or at least one that recurred twice, and on the basis of that dream, voyaged to South America and to Africa. Is that? I hope I've got that right.
The second time I had the dream, which was the exact same dream, 11 frames, 11 seconds. The second time I had it is when I chased down the first half of the dream, which was South America. I thought I'd finish it. Then 5 years after that, I had the dream for the third time, which made me say, I got to chase down the second half, which was there were African tribesmen on the banks of the river to the left. And that's when I went to Africa.
Any idea why? I mean, you staked a lot on the pursuit of a dream. And I mean, maybe we could say that's the motif of your book, that you staked a lot on the pursuit of a dream, but it's much more concrete in that episode. You had an actual dream, a literal nighttime dream that recurred. And as a consequence of that, you took a large risk, or a series of risks. Merely going to Africa was a risk, I would say, and not something that would be expected. It's quite out of the ordinary to do that, obviously.
Well, I've had dreams that are similar to each other, but it's the only dream I've ever had that one was so specifically, I mean, it was exact. When I say 11 frames, I mean like film frames, picture, 1, 2, 3, or 11 seconds, the exact same frames, exact same editing sequence in my mind, 11 seconds that ended in such a, I don't know if ironic's the right it was the elements of a nightmare, but it was the opposite of a nightmare. It was a wet dream. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that it was the exact same dream that I've had once in 92, again in 96. Whoa, I had that twice. That's the first shakeup. Well, that was the exact same dream I had 4 years ago. Exactly. First time that's ever happened. Maybe that's a celestial suggestion here. Something is telling me.
What do you think you specifically learned in pursuit of that? And have you had the dream again? My guess would be no, that you probably exhausted it, but I might be wrong.
No, I have not. To this point, it seems that I fulfilled the dream in the trip to Africa, which was the two elements of the dream. One was the Amazon River, one were African tribes. Those are the two geographic elements that I knew that were crystal clear in the dream. So that's why I went to South America. That's why I went mine. I have not had it again. I mean, I'll say this. I'm always looking for a good reason to go for a walkabout. I found a really good reason, a concrete reason there. And why were they wet dreams? There was nothing overtly sexual about them. There was, so they were, spiritual in that way is how I took them. Now in Mali, I can say, and I've been back to Mali. I went back to Mali, as I write about in the book, 5 years later after I fulfilled the dream. Not because I had the dream again, just because Mali, I've never felt more at home in a place than Mali. Now you're in certain places, you're like, I've been here before. The gravity here is right. I've been here before. Whether it's another life, I don't know. But Mali was where I felt, this is home. This was the original home. I've been here. And so that's when we went back. So that's my favorite place to go. And I've been back and did the exact same trip I did when I chased down the second half of the dream.
And you shed your identity to a great degree when you went to Africa.
Yeah.
And so that may enable you to exist in a way that would be much unlike the manner in which you have to exist where people know where you are or who you are. What do you think that did for you? Like the dream, you took this dream quest, let's say, and you paid a price for it. The risk would be the price. Mm-hmm. What was the consequence of allowing yourself to do that?
That it was on me, that it was my doing. I could own it at a time of becoming famous. You go through, at least I did, and still do at times, go through, wait a minute, what's mine? What am I getting based off of my worth as the man I am, as the person I am? Forget my fame. And it becomes challenging. I want to know, what is it's real? What is it not? How many of those I love yous are meant, or how many of them were just following because I just had a big box office hit? And wait a minute, the person that I've had dinner with their kids and spent Christmases with, who have shared I love yous and hugs then now I have two movies that didn't do well and that person won't return my call. Wait a minute.